Remember the magic? Heavy metal. Legislate. Power King. The Conglomerate. Who will make the magic in 2017? What colors your magic?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this very special Teletrack panel discussion on the Vodacom Durban July 2017. I'm joined in the studio by Warren Lenferner on the far side. We're going to be going through the entire card, starting with race 1 and going through all the way to race 12. Warren, welcome.
Good evening, Graham. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here, and it's always nice this time of the year. The Vodacom Durban July is upon us. And yeah, we've certainly got a great day's racing and a great race card to go through. Thanks for having me.
Now, a man who's no stranger to finding the winner's enclosure at the Vodacom Durban July, although it was known under a different name at that time, Garth Puller. Thank you very much for coming into the studio and giving us your opinions on what might happen next Saturday, the 1st of July. First of all, just remind us, 2 official winners of the Vodacom Durban July and one where you kind of lost it in the boardroom.
Yeah, great question. Graham, thanks. It's nice being here. Obviously, exciting week for Natal, for South Africa, but obviously exciting with July coming up, and it's going to be a good day's racing.
We're going to press you on your own runners in the day. Garth's got a few lined up for the afternoon in the minor races, and tipster extraordinaire who's finding it difficult to sit in his chair tonight, having had such a wonderful day at Greyville this afternoon. They tell me, Sheldon, that your wallet is bulging.
Well, thanks very much, Graham. Sean Terry had an outstanding day, and most of the punters would have locked onto the value, a couple of doubles and trebles coming through. So all in all, good day's racing. We got the float for the Vodacom Durban July now.
Now, all I'm understanding from a few people in the know outside there, that it all kind of went through all your autocoms, all your doubles, all your trebles onto Hayaku in the last. How are your nails?
Gone. No nails. The heartbeat was going 100 miles an hour. Had to really sweat for the last one, and glad it got home.
Well, Sheldon knows how to find the value, and hopefully between us, we'll be able to point you in the right direction for next Saturday's exciting multi-million rand betting feast. And talking about a betting feast and quality racing, let's remind you what's in store for you as punters when the Totalized Zeta opens up tomorrow morning, Monday the 26th of June. The early betting is open for the 2017 Vodacom Durban July. So let's have a look at what is in store for you. Just to remind you that in total, over 120 million rand will be paid out. Let's go through some of the highlights of the TAB betting menu for the race meeting. First race, Quartet Maxi Pool, 100,000 rand carryover. We're expecting the first race pool, and by the way, the first race goes off at 11.25 to top 1 million rand. Race 2 is Bipot 1, Leg 1. We've got an 80,000 rand carryover. The first Bipot pool likely to reach 1 million rand. Race 3 on the card, the first leg of the place accumulator. No carryovers, but we're expecting the pool for the place accumulator to reach 3.5 million rand. Then we go into race 4, which is the first leg of our Pick 6 mega pool. We start with a 2 million rand carryover. We're guaranteeing a pool of 10 million rand, although we estimate that the pool will be 11 million rand plus. Then going on to race 5, remember on this day we've got 2 jackpots, races 5, 6, 7, 8, and the second jackpot 9, 10, 11, and 12. Jackpot 1, the pool is expected to reach 2.3 million. Then on to race 7, which is of course the Vodacom Durban July itself. We have a Quartet Maxi pool, a 1.2 million rand carryover with a guaranteed pool of 13 million rand. Although we estimate that the Quartet pool will go to 15 million rand plus. Race 7 is also the first leg of the second bipot, and we're expecting that pool to reach 350,000 rands. Now race 9 is our second jackpot. We've got 175,000 rand carryover for you, and the likely pool is going to top 1.8 million rands. Race 11 is the start of a jackpot quick mix. And race 12 to end off the proceedings, like with the first race, we have a Quartet Maxi pool 100,000 Rand carryover, and we're expecting that quartet pool on the last race to reach 1.1 million Rand. More about the Vodacom Durban July itself. The win pool expected to reach 10 million Rand and the place pool 8 million Rands. Now let's chat about the all to come into the 4.25 million Rand Vodacom Durban July. You can choose any race meeting from Monday the 26th to Friday the 30th. You can bet an all to come in the normal way and make your last section a win or place bet in the Vodacom Durban July. And of course, just to remind you that as far as place betting is concerned on the Vodacom Durban July, the first 6 past the post will give you a dividend. You mark future 1 for the Vodacom Durban July portion of your bet, plus horse number and win or place for your Vodacom Durban July bet. And just to remind you, of course, that betting does open countrywide tomorrow in all your favorite TAB outlets on Monday, the 26th of June. So without any further ado, let's get into the action. We've got 12 races to get through. 11:25, the action starts with the Greyville Convention Centre Fillies and Mares Handicap, 84 rated for 1,400 metres, and the first race is on the Poly. So let's have a look at the betting. And we're expecting a tough card. It's not going to be easy to find the winners. And the first race, which has that quartet carryover, 4-1, number 4, Silver Class. Gavin Larena back in town to ride for the Janse van Vuren yard. Money for number 8, Leisure Trip at 9-2. Seek the Summit has been on a very strong winning roll. She's at 5-1. Cosmic Burst 11-2. Number 2, Pool Parties at 6-1. Garth Puller's got a runner here. Number 3, Flying Silver with Sherman Brown up at 9-1. They're betting 12s and bet at the balance. We will ask Garth, of course, about how Flying Silver has come through her last win. But I'm going to start on the far side, Warren. Very competitive opener, as you can see from the betting. 4-1 the field. Quartet carryover. Like to get into the money early. What catches your eye?
Graham, yeah, as you said, it is a very competitive opener to the day's proceedings. I like number 8, Leisure Trip from the Andre Nel stable. Grant van Niekerk rides from a very good draw. Had a good look at this horse's form last night, and you know she's run to Elusive Enchantment, Impala Lily, Sylvan Star, who won yesterday in the Cape. She's beaten Lady of the House, so there's a lot of strong form lines with this daughter of Trippy. She is my firm first choice. I'm going to back her up with number 7, Cosmic Burst, and number 4, Silver Class for my exactors, but I'm big on number 8, Leisure Trip.
Garth, well, before we move on to your selections, your analysis of the race, let's chat about your own filly in the race, a daughter of Savannah, number 3, Flying Silver. You got her from the Michael Azzi stable a little while back. She won her last start. She ran well before that as well. How's she come through her race?
Graham, she's doing well. She's come, bringing her back in trip to her 14, first run on the Poly. But I must say, she's taken the race well. She's tough, she's sound, and I think she enjoys the Poly. I've worked on the Poly at home, and I'm expecting a nice run. She's got a 10 draw to overcome, but like you've seen before, the 10 draw on the Poly is not that, doesn't affect them that much.
Now, having had a look at the card, obviously you fancy your filly, and we fully expect you to fancy your filly. She's got the form, she's got the pedigree, she seems to be on the up, but clearly dangers abound aplenty.
Yeah, I think a filly like Silver Class, that must be a big runner, and like Warren said, Leisure Trip. And Dennis will Seek the Summit. It's, it's a 5-time winner. Drawn well, Anthony Del Pescion, you must respect. So those are the horses that I think. But fillies and mares, always very open.
Difficult race, obviously, to start the program, and obviously, Sheldon, that quartet carryover adds a little bit of spice to the start of the meeting. Now, the theme for this year's Vodacom Durban July is the colour of magic. Little black number, that's got a colour in it. Flying Silver's got a bit of a colour in it. Silver Class has got some colour in it. Could that be the trifecta just to start the day on in keeping with the theme, or am I crazy?
100% right. Stick with the theme. Those are the horses that are going to probably pull it out the hat. For me, Silver Class, she achieved a 98 at the height of her career. She bounced back with a good victory last time, beating Clifton Sunset. She's won on the Poly. She's the horse to beat. But number 8, Leisure Trip, last year she ran second to Impala Lily. I think she's going to look to build on that. I think those two roving bankers in the quartet, and the winner will come from those two.
Okay, the guys seem to be focusing on Silver Class as a big runner. Number 8, Leisure Trip, a big runner. Well, those are the top 2 in the betting, but it is a wide open contest. But it doesn't end there. I'm going to ask, Sheldon, I'm going to ask you One horse I'd like to mention, obviously Seek the Summit, Garth mentioned, is coming off a hat-trick and seems to possibly be ahead of the handicap. Has got a neat draw at 3. But I want to chat to you about a filly by Western Winter, number 6 on the card, Abound West. She clearly has massive problems, as you can see, with all the gaps between her races. But the statistic that catches my eye is the fact that she's been on the poly twice and she's won twice. So she's unbeaten on the poly. Dennis, we know, can bring them back fresh, ready to run. Everybody wants to win a race on Vodacom Durban July. Every owner wants to win a race on Vodacom Durban July. So drawn at number 5, is Abound West in the play?
Certainly must be a horse to throw into the trifectas and quartets. Like you mentioned, she has got her excuses. She comes back from layoffs. Dennis Dreyer mastered bringing them back. And this type of horse could certainly step up to the plate. Her last run a bit disappointing behind Cosmic Burst, but 2 for 2 on the poly is good enough for the play.
As you can see, it's a difficult start to the day's racing. Quartet carryover to add the spice. Nice to be able to catch it. You might have to play floating bankers with the horses that the panel have mentioned. One other runner to watch out for is possibly number 2, Pool Party. Roy Magna comes down with 2 runners. His principal run, of course, comes later in the day in the R1 million KZN yearling sales race. But he would have chosen the travelling companion well, and obviously Pool Party comes in as a 3-time winner and is one that you might want to consider into your larger quartets. And one runner that the guy surprisingly never touched on but is being tipped in a number of different areas is number 12, Bon Bon. But she also has a wide draw to overcome. So it's Leisure Trip, Silver Class, Seek the Summit, and let's hope for Garth's sake that Flying Silver also runs a big race. Now, race 2 is the first leg of the first bipod. It's the Mum Stakes. It's off at 12:10, and it's run over 1,400 meters. Fantastic to have Mum on board. Here we do have a short-priced favourite that maybe we can get our heads around. Number 2, Head Honcho at 14-10. Looked desperately unlucky not to win last time. Number 8, Achilles, is at 6-1. Number 6, Aramouse, who also boasts a very good record on the poly track, and this the second race also run on the poly track. 11, King Django at 6s, 9-1 about number 5, Roy's Air Force, and 12s and Better the Balance. I'm going to reverse the order now. Sheldon, I'm going to start with you. First leg of the bipod. So the first question, can we banker Head Honcho in that bipod, which does boast a carryover?
I believe he looks to be a banker, going to the various card calls and the big guys in the know. They've taken a stance. Head Honcho, they've gone quite big into this individual. You mentioned last time, out of shade unlucky behind Carbon Offset. Anton Marcus would have studied his form. He would have been on the phone very, very quickly. So I believe number 2, Head Honcho, very tough to beat. Once you look behind him, Roy's Air Force, Aramouse, Spanish Captain, it gets very tricky after that. So we'll go in with number 2, Head Honcho.
You know, as punters and as viewers of races, we sometimes liberally say that horses were unlucky to lose. The reason I say that Head Honcho was unlucky to lose last time was that, probably through no fault of his own, Pierce Jaden found himself in no man's land. In fact, the winner of that race was drawn 13 out of 15. He was drawn 9, but ended up racing 4 or 5 wide and just failed to get up. From the 3 gate, no such problems this time round.
Not with Anton Marcus and the irons. He'll place him. He'll get them into the groove of things. If he takes to the poly, he's going to be very tough to beat. Bear in mind, he is taking on some 3- and 5-time winners, so it's not cut and dried. But getting the vibe between the guys in the know, they're bullish about number 2, Head Honcho. We'll go with him.
Banker for you.
Banker for me.
Garth, competitive race. It is still a handicap and very competitive. As I was saying earlier, Garth, this is the day. Even in all of the other races, the minor races on the day, everybody wants to get into the action.
Yeah, everybody wants to be in the limelight, especially on a day like this. And it's a tough race. This is a 3-year-old, 1-time winner giving weight to 3 and 4 and 5-time winners. So he's not going to have it his own way. I do think it's probably the right horse, and the betting reflects that. But a horse like Aramouse is, I think, brilliant form on the poly. Done nothing wrong, won a few races. And a horse like King Django, drawn 1. I never look past a horse drawn 1. Over 1,400 meters, I never leave a horse drawn 1 out with form. And you've got Anthony Del Pechon, probably a little bit unlucky in his last start, also a big runner. And then again, Royal Air Force. So I think the race is a little bit more open than it actually looks.
So for you, not necessarily Head Honcho, you won't banker it.
No.
Anthony is in a rich vein of form. Of course, he's definitely going for the title, Garth. I think he's won it. He's passed the post, as you would say. He's ridden 9 winners over this past weekend, so he's obviously a man to follow. So you fancy a bit of King Django. I do want to talk about Aramouse, because you were making the point, 3-year-old, one-time winner, giving weight to older horses. Aramouse has won 5. His polytrack record is 5 runs. 1 win, 3 seconds, 1/3. So he's never been further back than 3rd. People may be put off by the fact that he went down to Flamingo Park to win his last run, but that was almost like stealing money.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's done nothing wrong every time he's come here. And it's a good family. It's Lieutenant Jerry Mouse and the Mouseketeer. It's a good family. I bought the 2 that were duds, so I know. I bought 2 of them, and I bought the 2 chestnuts, so they're not too good. But I think he's done well with this horse, and I think this horse is a big runner.
Warren, your take on the second race in general, but also particularly from the bipod point of view?
Yeah, Graham, as you said, it's a likely pool of R1 million, so you've got to get your bipods on, you've got to get involved. I'm a big head honcho fan. I'm with Sheldon on this one. I do, you know, I will remember this horse's debut win at Kenilworth. It beat Kingston Passage, which was impressive. And his penultimate start, he ran 4th, close up to Horizon. Now, that's good enough form for me. I respect the fact, he's a 3-year-old and against older horses and all the rest of it. I do respect that fact, but that run to Horizon was very, very good. And his last run, as you said, you've touched on. So, I think head honcho, I'm in Sheldon's camp. I think it is a banker for the bipod for me. I do a health respect for number 11, King Django. I was with Dennis Bosch when this horse ran last time, and he was a little disappointed that it didn't get a bit closer. So I've got King Django for exactors. But as for the bipod carryover, I'm certainly going to be bankering 2 head honcho.
Okay, so you have banker for the bipod, head honcho from the Warren Lenferner camp and also from the Sheldon Peters camp. Garth going a little bit wider, including Aramouse and Roy's Air Force and King Django. I'm going to take some middle ground. Head honcho and Aramouse. I do respect the fact that Aramouse is a 5-time winner and has clearly shown a strong liking for the polytrack. The first 2 races on the card are on the poly, but as we move over to race 3, which is the Betting World 2200, and again we welcome Betting World on board as sponsors on Vodacom Durban July Day. It's their first time around on the big day. The 500,000 Rand Betting World 2200 opens up the place accumulator. Here's the betting. This is an interesting race because a number of horses perhaps going the trip for the first time and a few others that may even like it further. Number 4, Zodiac Ruler, is certainly one of those. Although he's been over 2,000 metres, hasn't yet stretched to 2,200 metres. Here's the favourite, the Anthony Delpes, Justin Snaith combination at 33-10. Disappointing run perhaps in the Daily News, but he might find this a little bit easier. Certainly his run in the Guineas behind Janubi was good. We saw Matador Man come out and win today so impressively from behind Zodiac Ruler on that occasion, and certainly nothing wrong with his run behind Horizon, particularly if you fancy Horizon to do well in the Vodacom Durban July. Crowd Pleaser did everything but win the Cup trial last time out at 7-2, putting to rest the fact that he cannot run on the turf as well as he does in the poly. He nearly pulled that off. 5 Royal Badge. I've got a strong feeling for this son of Go Deputy to run a big race here at 6-1 for the Adam Marcus stable. 8 My World is at 6-1. Then the 2 runners that ran 2nd and 3rd in the recent Jubilee Handicap at Turfentine. 9 Bankable Teddy at 7-1. 10 Hidden Agenda at 8-1. Interesting. We'll see how the week pans out, whether No Worries, who finished unplaced in today's Million Mile, will in fact retain his position in the field. That will depend on how he pulls up. But certainly wherever he goes, No Worries is always a runner. So let's start with you, Warren. You're always going to be piggy in the middle, Goss, so otherwise I might confuse these guys. If I start with you, they won't know where I'm going next, and nor the producer, perhaps.
Yeah, keep the
so,
order.
Warren, we'll keep going backwards and forwards and give you all a chance to kick off the betting and the batting. So, what do you make of it?
Graham, yeah, it's a very competitive event, staying event. I think it's a 2-horse race for the win position between 7 Crowd Pleaser and 8 My World. Crowd Pleaser's yet to win on the turf. But it was a very good run last time behind Elusive Silver that brought on the turf. So I think he's good enough, really. I think he's good enough to win on the turf. I have no issues with that. My World, great run last time. I see they've opted to put a pair of cheek pieces on the Son of Ideal World. The two runners that ran second and third, as you touched on in the Jubilee, £1.5 million. I'm going to load up, Graham. 7 and 8, I think, to fight it out for the win, but I'm probably going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5. Load up the first leg of the PA. It's competitive.
Well, you're only leaving out about 3, so you should get through the
should
first.
get through.
If he doesn't get through the first leg of the PA with all of those, then you must know the result is 1, 2, and 3. Or and then you won't see a smile on his face in the race that if it won, perhaps barring the centenary. Watch that come and win now. Garth, what do you think?
Look, I think I'll go with the 4-year-old Royal Badge. For me, it's third run back. He's got to hit his form. He's run against a few decent horses. He's got a year on the younger horses. No stamina doubts whatsoever. Proven on the grass. I like that, obviously. And then I like Crowd Pleaser. That was a brilliant run last time out. And then My World.
So My World, Crowd Pleaser, common to both Warren and Garth. Although Garth throws in Royal Badge as his first choice. Sheldon?
I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go with number 2, Trophy Wife. I'm going to continue with the Sean Terry trend at around 10, 12 to 1. She ran in last year's July. She was just over 4.5 lengths behind the conglomerate. Her last run, she was reported in season. She's a slow starter, but for my money at 10 to 1, a little bit of value. Then Royal Badge, Zodiac Ruler, and Crowd Pleaser.
Okay, well, I'm this time going to side with Garth. I'm going to be in the camp of number 5, Royal Badge. Certainly healthy respect for 7, Crowd Please, and 8, My World. 8, My World, very genuine, and certainly has to be included into your place accumulator. But it's a tough little race. Only 10 runners, but it's not an easy start to the place accumulator, and you don't want to go out in leg 1. So perhaps Warren's got the right idea in terms of structure. But of course, as wide as you go in some legs, that means you've got to go short in others. Let's go to race 4, the first leg of our mega Pick 6 pool. Let's remind you all about that mega Pick 6 pool. There's a carryover of 2 million rand. The guaranteed pool is 10 million. We're expecting the pool to go 11 plus. So it's all to play for in race 4, the first leg of the Pick 6, the SABC Gold Vase, 3,000 meters. It's a race that really excites the large crowd that we have here at Greyville for the Vodacom Durban July, because just as is the case with the Gold Cup, later at the end of the month, this race starts in front of the grandstands, and the horses, of course, go through the winning post twice. So here's your latest betting, and as you can see, it's wide open. Number 3, Banner Hill, who's been in a rich vein of form for quite a long time now, ridden by Richard Faree, trained by Glenn Cotton, is co-favourite at 9 to 2 with the Gold Bowl winner, number 7, Hermosa Mundo, from the Waiho Mowing Stable, to be ridden by Carl Zechner, also at 9 to 2. No stamina doubts about that one. In fact, he's always been crying out for the ground. 5, Captain Splendid, Piers Stradham aboard at 5 to 1. The Strong Galloper, number 6, Son of Africa, is at 11 to 2. My Fancy, number 2, Helderberg Blue, is at 6 to 1. He stays every inch of this trip, and he comes well at this time of the year. Has run very well over the extreme distances during the KwaZulu-Natal SA Champion season. They're betting 12 to 1 and upwards the balance. Garth's got 2 runners in there. Number 12, Everdeer. Number 13, Rio de la Plata. We'll hear from Garth in just a moment, but let's first ask Sheldon. First leg of the Pick 6. Not an easy race.
I think you've got to go as wide as your budget will allow. I'm going to be in your camp. I'm going to go with number 2, Helderberg Blue. He's a horse who's been second, third in the big races. I'm going to go with him, although if you look at number 6, Sun on Africa, on the Derby run, he's much better off at the weights, and he holds him on that run. But this horse, Helderberg Blue, Anton sticks with him. I think he'll be a big runner. And then number 8, Rocket Ball, and number 10, Kinan. Those will be the lurkers for me to round up the money, but as wide as your budget will allow.
Hermosa Mondo, what do you make of him?
Very impressive last time out, from a 73 rating up to a 90, so this will be the test for him, but obviously he stays very well. They landed the gamble on that occasion. He's going to be there with that.
Okay, some alternate thinking coming through from Sheldon, certainly as far as number 8, Rocket Ball, is concerned. He hasn't shown much form since running second as a 3-year-old to Abashiri in the SA Derby, and a close 4th behind Rabada in last season's Daily News. He's kind of gone missing since then, but as they say in the classics, a horse may lose its form, but it never loses its ability, and Nuresh Jaglal, back from Singapore to ride Rocket Ball. Well, that's one of these carded rides. Of course, he's back to ride Safe Harbour in the Vodacom Durban July. Now, Garth, let me start off with your two runners before we get your general views on the race. You've got number 12, Everdeer, number 13, Rio de la Plata. Rio de la Plata, I would have thought, might be the better of the two over this kind of a trip, but maybe I'm wrong.
Graham, I've always been wanting to try this horse over further. He's gone 2-4, and in fact, he's won twice over 2-4. I've always wanted to try him further. Two huge horses. These horses are 17 plus, and I think he's a galloper. I think he could get onto the back of the quartets, but it's a tough ask. It is a tough race, and have a run on July Day. The owner really wanted a run on July Day. He fitted the criteria. He's found his form a little bit. He looks like he's got a bit of a bounce in his step, and I think he'll run a nice sort of race. Everdeer, he was off the track for 2 years. The vet said it'll be a miracle if he comes back. He's been back. He's actually doing well. He was a little bit disappointing last time out. I ran him over 2,000 metres, tried to build him up. It's only 10 days before this race, but he's a big kind of horse, and if he stays sound, big, long striding horse. And I've always believed if a horse has got stamina and he's sound enough and he stays, they've got a chance. These kind of races, the winners change all the time. So, but in saying that, I don't really think they're quite there yet. I'm just hoping for good runs. If I go back to what I think, I was very impressed with Sarissa's. I know it's an old horse, but I was impressed with the workout in the July Gallops. That impressed me, and it stays the distance. That's number 4. And then I must go with the guys. I like a little bit of Captain Splendid, and even Gareth's horse, Son of Africa. It's a stable that's in very good form. And then I must say Banner Hill and Heidelberg Blue. So I think it's open, but I do like the way that Sean Terry's horse worked.
Warren, is this the kind of the first leg of a pick six, big money on the line here, big money on the line, that the only real safe way of getting through is with the field? And I'm not being tongue-in-cheeky, I'm actually being dead serious. I mean, is that the kind of race it is, or do you see that you can narrow this down a little bit?
Graham, I do think it is competitive, and if your budget would allow, I think if you can go the field, well then, why not? You wouldn't like to go out in the first leg, you wouldn't like to go out in any leg. But it is competitive, and I think whatever your budget allows, just try and put as many in as you can. I like what Garth said with regards to Sarissa. I'm in his camp, the Sean Terry, Smango Khumalo combination. Neatly drawn, as Garth says, stays all day. Good run last time. He hasn't won for 461 days. That's my only little concern. But I think he's going to be the horse to beat. Heidelberg Blue naturally is a massive runner. 973 days since he's last won. Sun in Africa, it was a good run last time when Mr. Winsome beat him. So I think with Sarissa, Sun in Africa, for the smaller players, Heidelberg Blue, Sarissa, Sun in Africa, you might get away, but it's tough. My advice is to try and load up. My first choice is number 4, Sarissa.
So Sarissa for Garth, Sarissa for Warren. Yeah, it is a bit of a worry that Heidelberg Blue hasn't won for 973 days. That's a very long time. Don't banker him, not for the next 973 days. But the fact is he did run second in last year's Eland Gold Cup. So he has a liking for Gravel, although he's yet to win here because he hasn't won much in recent times. But before we move on, Garth, I do want to ask you something, because from a jockey's perspective, Gravel Racecourse, we only have 2 races in the whole year. The SABC Gold Vase on this day, over 3,000 metres, and the Eland Gold Cup over 3,200 metres, where you starting in the straight in front of the crowd and you go down and now you cross the poly track. It's quite sharp. What goes through a jockey's mind in a race like this that you so seldom ride in?
It's basically knowing your horse has the stamina and obviously judging the pace, which is a big thing. You normally find that a lot of people say that in 1,000 metres you can take time into account, and then the next time you take time into account is over 3,200, because at some stage those horses will be at their top, and you'll find the times are very close. Very seldom you get a horse flying in the Gold Cup, unless the pace has really been on from the jump. So I think it's stamina, and I think the guys jockey for positions, and then they move around that bend. Then they've got a long uphill to the 1,600 metres where they can improve if they need to. If the pace is a bit slow, they can go around and further up, but you don't want to make too much movement up the hill. Once they hit the 1,600 metres and they're running downhill, and they've thought that there wasn't enough pace and they're on a horse that's got the stamina and they're not going quick enough, they will then take up the running, and the race will start to become serious from the 16.
Is it quite hair-raising for a jockey to go around that corner at the end of the finishing straight and behind the Royal Durban Golf Club clubhouse? Was it just another bend?
No, it's just another bend. What does come into account is, and a lot of the senior guys and the guys with experience, you don't want to be stuck on the fence, third, fourth on the fence, and something goes wrong with the runner in front. These are older horses. These are horses that can go wrong. And if you get jammed up on the fence and you can't get out and something happens in front, or you're not going to get out. So the guys try and give themselves a little bit of room. Because they've got the stamina and because they've got horses that can see out the distance, they want to move off the rail and they don't want to get jammed up there. So often you'll find that the better horses will start to move around and pick up the run-in or ensure that the run-in is at a decent pace.
Yeah. I must be honest, sitting where I sit and the position that I hold nowadays, I very seldom see the first part of either the Gold Vase or the Gold Cup because my eyes are on the starting gates and making sure that they've got them off the track. Then once they're off the track, I can sit and relax and watch the rest of the race pan out because that has got to be the worst nightmare ever, that the starting stalls. And it's happened a couple of times in Australia.
Yeah, they can flag them down. They'll flag the horses down to stop. But besides that, they can basically push the starting stalls off. That doesn't enter in the jockey's thinking at all.
Okay, well, it stays in my thinking until I've seen them comfortably off the track. Race 5, the first leg of Jackpot 1, the Gold Circle Golden Slipper, Grade 2, 1,400 metres for 2-year-old fillies. And this is another very competitive lineup. But we do have the powerful Samango Kamalo Sean Tarry combination topping the boards with number 2 Desert Rhythm. She's won 2 from 6. She's twice been placed second. She's 33-10. She ran 4th behind Green Plains on 2 occasions. 4 Green Top, an interesting runner. I know they think very highly of this. My good friend Colin Gordon and Peter White, they own this daughter. Give Me the Green Light. She was very confidently expected to win first time out, and she never disappointed. Hasn't been seen since February. 7 London Secret at 6-1. Very game, very consistent, very classy. Number 9 Neptune's Reign is at 6-1, but has it all to do from that gate number 17, which of course will come in once the reserve runners have come out. She's at 6-1. They're betting 10-1 and upwards bar the 4 runners at the top of the boards. Sheldon, we say it so many times over and over and over again, these 2-year-olds, now they're starting to go around the turn. They're starting to go a bit further in their careers in terms of the distance that they're competing over. We've seen the nurseries. We've seen the Alan Robertson. We've seen various juvenile plates over the shorter trips, some of them over this distance of 1,400 metres. But it's obviously they improve at different rates. Not easy to find a winner here. I must be honest, nothing absolutely stands out for me.
Got to agree with you. Like you mentioned, they improve at different rates. Some of them seeing the course for the first time. How did they travel? Number 2, Desert Rhythm. She's got some feature form to recommend. I think she's going to probably be the horse to set the sights on. She'll come into Stallgate 7 if the reserve runners come out. And then the Adamites go on number 4, Green Top. The Gimme the Green Light. We've seen what their progeny are capable of. I think the winner will come from those 2. And then once you look beyond them, London Secret, Neptune's Reign. Uphill battle. But I think Desert Rhythm and Green Top, the top 2.
Guys, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack to be able to say, I really think this will win.
Yeah, young fillies, I mean, like you say, I mean, number 2's had a couple of runs. I mean, she's won 2 races, but she's had a couple of runs, so she's done it. She's been busy. The 4, I do great respect for Alec Laird. I mean, I know she hasn't run since February, but he knows how to train a horse.
Didn't he bring Maleficent down with a similar sort of lightly raced record and did well here?
Very well. And then you got a filly like Gee Whiz. I mean, drawn 5, done nothing wrong. I'll make her a runner as well. And the stable's in form, got a very good rider up. Yeah, look, it's tough. It's one of those fields that I wouldn't say it's you can go with 3 horses. You got 7, 9, 11. That could be a runner. Sean Terry's got a few in the race, and I think he's obviously got the favourite, but any one of his horses could win.
Talking about a 2-year-old filly that's had a few runs, number 10 Outlander. She comes out for the 12th time in her career already.
Yeah, she's well travelled.
She's well travelled.
But Cornish Piece is also well travelled.
Warren, let me ask you a question. Neptune's Reign, if she was drawn 1, would she be a confident first choice for you?
She would. She would indeed. If she was drawn 1, Graham, you know, if one had a look at her form in her penultimate start, she beat Maiden Hollywood. Maiden Hollywood's no slouch. Her last run, There was a little bit of give in the ground. It was a bit softer on that day. She ran third to Brave Mary. Brave Mary, take nothing away from her. She won well. It was a Group 1 event. I mean, it's her 4th start, and she's already placed in a Group 1. She's got tons of ability. Her draw, I mean, it's just really, she's going to have to start in the next to the duck pond at Botanical Gardens. But yeah, to answer your question, if she was drawn 1, she certainly would be my first choice. She's not my first choice because I've got healthy respect for number 7, London Secret. As Garth said, Sean's got a lot of runners in the race, and any one of them could win. She's by give me the green light. She's done little wrong in 2 starts. Green Top, as you say, was expected to win on debut, and Julie did. Competitive, very, very competitive. I'm in the jackpot, which is the first leg, as we know, the likely pool 2.3. I'm going 2 Desert Rhythm, 3 G Whiz, 4 Green Top, 7 London Secret, and 9 Neptune's Reign.
Okay, that's interesting, those numbers you've chosen, because I want to talk about one other filly. I mean, we can't talk about all of these fillies, and they're obviously put into this race. They pay an acceptance fee because they think they've got a chance of winning. I mean, they're highly regarded by the connections, the trainers, and obviously the owners have got high expectations as well. On the form book, she probably can't win, but number 5, Let It Flow. Firstly, Judpot has had such an outstanding time of it with his 2-year-olds when running during the KwaZulu-Natal's champion season. He's had some really nice runners. Drawn 3, Anthony Delpesh, Lucky Udalakis, who knows what it takes to bring a horse down. I'm interested, Warren, that you're happy to ignore the fact that Delpesh has taken the ride, ignore the fact that she's drawn 3, goes the trip for the first time. On form, probably you'll say to me, well, she needs to find a bit more. She should be held by Rockin' Russian, who of course ran the other day. But is she not the kind of horse that could just suddenly flash up down the inside and say, well, we never saw that coming?
She could, Graham. You know, in the computer form, it says in her last run there's been no runners for no winners. And if my memory serves me correct, maybe one of the other gents can help. Frederico's Dream, I think, has come out and won. So, you know, that does give it a bit of a boost. She certainly has got a chance. Judd Pot, they're producing winners all over the place. Delpesh, Lucky Hoodlarkus. You know, it's just a matter of, you can't put the whole field in. You know, it's just...
Try me. I can tell you now. Try me. Jackpot leg 1, I'm going to be putting the whole field. I've seen these 2-year-old racers produce surprise winners. Throw 1 or 2 of the scratchings in if you think the favourite's going to win. You double up that way, you increase your percentage. Don't necessarily throw out the favourite. Garth, you want to say something quick?
Yeah, Graham, she's just looking at her form. She's been back 3 times. She was back first time out. She obviously shows a lot at home. And I mean, I've ridden, I've seen these kind of horses. She shows a lot at home. And Lucky obviously knows that she's better than what she's actually producing on the track. They backed her in her second start. She got beat. They backed her. She won. She didn't win far. But he obviously knows that there's more to come. He just hasn't, she hasn't produced it. And hoping. So if she obviously brings what she's showing him on race day, she's a runner. He wouldn't travel down here just to have a look at Gravel.
And it must have taken some persuasion to get Anthony to ride her. He must have given us...
No, Anthony's he's shrewd.
He's
not
shrewd,
leading the championship for nothing.
Absolutely. We've got to move on. The time is ticking by, and we've got lots of races to get through. So race 6 is the Durban Golden Horseshoe. This is also for 2-year-olds. It's for the male version. Grade 2 over 1,400 metres. 3 is the off time. Let's have a look at the betting quickly. Number 3, Captain and Master. Again, Kamalo and Tarry, 33-10. Number 6, Hakeem, Delpesh and De Kock at 7-2. 11, Varello, Marcus and Laird at 6-1. How's about those 3 combinations at the top of the boards? It doesn't get any weaker because then it's number 7, Nafa with Gavin Larena for Michael De Kock at 13-2. Ancestry looks progressive. Bernard Fairderban, Joey Ramsden, the only other runner quoted at single figures at 7-1. 10s and better the balance. So I'm going to start with you this time, Warren. Captain and Master does look as if it's progressive. The stable doesn't need we don't need any reminding that they're at the top of their game. Samunga drawn 3. Are you going to take a chance and go a little bit narrower in this race?
Yeah, I think you can, Graham. Again, it's the 2-year-olds, the boys' version. Captain and Master, big runner. As you say, you can't ignore Sean Terry. Massive runner is Captain and Master. However, I've got healthy respect for number 6, Hakim, from the Mike De Kock stable. His last win was most impressive when thumping Landudno. That was up on the high veld. He was expected to win that day, and he duly did. And I'm going to still stick with my good old faithful Trojan Harbour. The last time we were together, I think you, Sheldon, and I.
Well, we tipped it to win.
We did.
And I big odds, 20 to 1.
And I think he's a very
my
good horse.
My pocket was also bulging that day.
Yeah, no, it's not often that my pockets bulge, but on that day they certainly did. But yeah, Trojan Harbour, I think he's a very smart horse. He is drawn out in the car park, sadly. But he's going for the hat-trick, and I've got healthy respect for this horse. 6, 10, and 3 will my principal contenders.
Garth, we can't keep putting the fields in, so I'll throw the same question at you. Hakeem does look a class act. He looks the kind of right horse. He's got that pedigree, Redoubt's Choice. Captain and Master, of course, got the draw on his side. Is this a race where perhaps, while sentiment may lean us towards Trojan Harbour, he's got a deep draw to overcome? Can we get away with 3 and 6 in this race, or do you see it wider than that?
I'd put the 5 in as well. Yeah, I'd go 3, 6, 5, and 10. I mean, I've got a reserve runner here that I'm actually peeved about not getting in the race.
We've got a time. We've got time constraints.
I
mean, you bent my ear for 3.5 hours the other day, so we haven't got that sort of time tonight.
Well, he beat the horse that won the gate crash and won 2 in a row, and that's the number 10 by 11 lengths. But say no more. He's not in, and you can't change that. I think 3 is a massive runner. 3, 6, 10, and 5.
Sheldon?
Got to agree. Those look to be the principal contenders. Captain and Master, he looked amazing the other day. He's got a hell of an action, reputation. 6, Hakeem, he's been very, very impressive. Those are the top 2. And then Trojan Harbour, Varello, those will be horses to include.
Well, Varello galloped the other day at Greyville, so he's had a sight of the course, so they're obviously quite serious. I'll come back to you in a moment, guys. So they're obviously quite serious about Varello's chances out of the 1 gate for the Anton Marcus Charlie Laird combination in the Alesh Naidu Silks. Nafer obviously has ability. It is a concern that he has made a respiratory noise in every single outing. And last time out, after his good second behind Mustaqim, he was disappointing, if one can call finishing 5th behind Sand and Sea disappointing. But what worries me is the fact that he's obviously making a breathing noise every time. So let's go with Hakeem as being the stable elect. I'm going to row in with 3 and 6 only. I'm going to take my chances in this leg because we can't go wide in every leg. I'm going to nail my colours to the mast. 3, Captain and Master, and 6, Hakeem. You wanted to add something, Garth?
Yeah, very good work put up by the source, Captain and Master at the July Gallops.
Did you also see it?
Yes.
That's why I'm quite happy to go narrow.
Yes,
Captain and Master was seen as a working companion to one of the Vodacom Durban July runners, Captain and Master, and he put up excellent work. But obviously, we've got to respect Hakeem. So we're going to narrow that down to 3 and 6. But Trojan Harbour, Warren's still got a little bit of a fancy for that. Now, race 7, the Vodacom Durban July. 6 ways to win in the Vodacom Durban July. That's, of course, the first 6 past the post on your TAB will qualify for a dividend. And this is an initiative to get more of our once-a-year punters and even those who like their each-way bets to have a greater chance of getting something back out of the Vodacom Durban July. It's very competitive. 18 runners to face the starter. So if you have a place bet or an each-way bet, remember, if you run 5th or 6th, you still qualify for a dividend. And just to remind you again of that quartet carryover, Maxi Pool, 13 million rands, the guarantee. We're expecting it to get to 15 million rand. Now, guys, Garth, you were at the Gallops. You were on a panel discussion. There are panel discussions happening all over the place. There are going to be more panel discussions and understarters orders and everything to follow still. So we've analysed this race inside, outside already, although we're still 7 days away from the race. So I really just want to get your first, second, third, and fourth selections as far as the Vodacom Durban July is concerned. But lest you need reminding, let's have a look at the latest betting, if you're looking for that to guide you. They're betting 9 to 2 the field. The 2 3-year-olds, 12 Edict of Nantes and 13 El Saham at 9 to 2. Of course, the money just continues to pour onto number 11 Black Arthur at 13 to 2. Number 8, It's My Turn Straight. I'm looking for back-to-back wins in the Vodacom Durban July. He won on the Conglomerate last year at 9, and It's My Turn is at 9 to 1. The Conglomerate, the defending champion, at 10 to 1. Callan Murray won a Group 3 today in Hong Kong. His second Group 3, won a Group 3 in Hong Kong today, did Callan Murray. So he's flying high, will be full of confidence. 10 to 1. 10 Gun Salute, the Betting World 1900 winner, 10 to 1. 14s and better the balance. Sheldon, your selections.
I'm with number 7, the Conglomerate. I think history can repeat itself. He's easy to back. He's found the support. He's had an easy prep coming into this race. Only a half a kilogram more than he carried last year. So the Conglomerate, quietly confident. Then I'm going to go number 12, Edict of Nant, 11, Black Arthur, and between 9, 10, Gun Salute, and 13, El Sahem. But the Conglomerate, history can repeat itself.
Garth?
Yeah,
You've been a Black Arthur man all the time.
Yeah, I'm Black Arthur. He looks tremendous, put up good work. I think he's had the right kind of prep, third run back. Edict of Nantes, I think, is a top horse in the making. Could be anything. I was very impressed with his win in the Daily News. I think the Conglomerate, that's my roughie. When I say roughie, I think his work has been great. I think his prep's been great. He worked on the poly, but he was moving well. And then Respect Straydon. It's my turn. He's drawn 17, but
is that his turn?
he hasn't had his turn. He hasn't had his turn. Al Saim, obviously, on the form with Edict of Nantes, the straight might be a little bit sharp for him, but, in their workout in Joburg, I thought the filly was actually travelling better than him, Safe Harbour. So you got to be careful, but those are my horses.
Warren?
Graham, the first 6 places, the bet for the places, first 6, I'm going to certainly be backing It's My Turn for a place. I'm going to be backing Saratoga Dancer for a place. First 6, call it sentiment if you like.
It is.
Yeah, it is with my family having a nice share in the horse, but nevertheless, I'm going to be roving in the quartet. I'm going to try and catch this big quartet. Huge pools. I'm going to be roving 13 El Sahim and 9 10 Gun Salute with many horses in the race. Those are going to be my 2 roving bankers. My 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going first, number 13, El Sahim. Second, 9 10 Gun Salute. Third, 8 It's My Turn. And fourth, 12 Edict of Nance.
Okay, can also make a selection, do you think? I'm with you,
think you
Sheldon.
must,
I'm
I
with
think you
you.
must.
Number 7, the Conglomerate. First horse since El Picha to win back-to-back runnings of the Vodacom Durban July. What an occasion that would be for young Callan Murray. The Conglomerate to win it. I'm going to go with number 18, Safe Harbour, to run second. I'm looking for a massive quartet here, but then healthy respect for the 2 3-year-olds, obviously Edict of Nance and El Sahem, and Black Arthur also amongst that. So those are my 5 horses that I'm going to be playing around to try and catch this quartet. I agree with Warren. Whoever wins, try and catch the quartet. That guaranteed pool is 13 million rands. And the Conglomerate for me, Black Arthur for Garth, the Conglomerate for Sheldon, El Sahem for Warren. Okay. 8th race, Compendium Insurance Brokers MR 104 handicap 1,000 meters. Last leg of the first jackpot. Let's catch up with the latest betting. This race is on the poly, guys. Just remember, this is on the poly. Number 11, Horse Guards at 3-1. Number 1, Attenborough, 33-10. Don't know how Anton's going to be feeling after getting down to 54 kilograms, but at least he can carry this one 60,5. 5, Angels Power is at 13-2. Number 6, Doing It for Dan at 8-1. Number 7, Our Destiny, 8-1. And I think very attractively priced is number 9, Strat. Might well have won a last start had it been 1,000 meters, not 1,100 meters. So that is race 8. It's over 1,000 meters. It's on the poly. It's going to be a helter-skelter, Warren. It's going to be helter-skelter. And I guess it could result in something coming from off the pace to run them all down.
Yeah. What do they say, Graham? Don't blink, you'll miss it. It's going to be, from the word go, there's just going to be speed all over the place. Yeah, #Strag certainly, let me get that right, #Strat certainly was a good run last time. And I think over the 1,000, she tries the poly, taking to the poly from a good draw. No reason why she can't be competitive. Angels Power, Mike Azzi's here in town, and this horse has got good form, ran a good race to Rommy's Boy. Elusive Enchantment there. I mean, her last couple of runs have been in the computer form sprint and all the rest of it. She takes to the poly. She's got to be a runner. 3, 5, 9, in no particular order are my selections.
3, 5, and 9 for Warren. Garth?
Yeah, I like. Look, it's a tough race. I've got a run in the race, Estor, and he loves the poly. He's doing well. He comes out fresh. I think he's a. I must say, I think he's a runner here. But my fancies, I like Attenborough. I think the 3-year-olds, I know it's carrying top weight, but it's top class. #Strat, another big runner, and for me, an outsider, well drawn, lightweight, Vibration.
Sheldon?
I like number 12, Vibration. I think he's going to run an absolute cracker. 11, Horse Guards. And then looking at number 1, Attenborough. And number 9, #Strat, the top 4.
Our Destiny, can you see her repeating?
Well, last time out, she looked very tough to beat. She was well weighted in that contest. I think she's got a realistic place chance. It'll be a bonus if she takes the win.
Difficult end to the first jackpot. Race 8 is wide open. Luck in running will play a role. It's going to be, as I said, a very, very fast pace from the word go. And it could be one of those races where the cutthroats up front and something like Doing It for Dan, running on from behind to get up. But I prefer the stable companion, #Strat, but not with a great deal of confidence, although I do think 10-1 represents good each way value. Race 9 is the KZN Yearling Sale Million. It's again for 2-year-olds. Horses that were purchased at the KZN Yearling Sales last year. And of course, we've got the KZN Yearling Sales at Sabaya Casino on Thursday and Friday of this week, preceding the 2017 Vodacom Durban July. Some lovely horses down there. I was there on Saturday and saw some very nice yearlings. And I guess it's still going to be a buyer's market. So if you're looking for value for money, get down to the Sabaya Casino to see the yearlings for the 2017 KZN Yearling Sales. Let's have a look at the betting. El Mariachi, odds on 17-20 off the back of his very good third in the gold medallion. He's drawn a little bit wide. Roy Magner, we mentioned him at the top of the show, comes in with 5 Prince of Kahal at 7-1. Impressive debut winner number 9, Well Connected at 8-1. James Goodman's the Dazzler, dazzled us all on his debut, running against winners, coming from the back of the field, winning like an absolute good horse in the making. Anthony Del Pesh rides, that's a 10-1. So I'm going to start with you, Sheldon. It's a kind of a race where I guess you're either an El Mariachi man or I'm not sure what.
Got to go with El Mariachi. He looked super the other morning in the gallops. He's coming off a decent third to Sand and Sea. Having a chat to the stable, we were on the panel the other night. They're very upbeat. If he overcomes the draw, which I think he will do, he'll come into stallgate number 11. Very, very tough to beat. So 1 El Mariachi, the first selection. 8 the Dazzler, my second pick. And then 5 Prince of Kahal. And take your pick for the rest of them.
For Sheldon Peters, is this the best bet on the card, El Mariachi?
Not the best bet on the card, the second best bet for me. The best bet's still coming later
Is it
on.
still coming?
Still coming
Still
on.
coming. Well, that's something to look forward to. Better bet than El Mariachi still to come from Sheldon, but obviously the betting tells a story. Garth, you were mentioning earlier when we were chatting about the Vodacom Durban July, the betting tells a story. The betting tells a story here that El Mariachi should be your banker in the final leg of the pick 6, the final leg of the place accumulator, and also the first leg of the second jackpot. But is it as easy as that?
I don't think it's that easy from a 13 draw, but he obviously is a worthy favourite. Obviously the horse to beat, and I've got great respect for him. I think the 5 is a big runner, Prince of Kahal. I have run in the race. I'm drawn out wide, but he's a nice sort, and he's got that come on look about him. I've brought him here. I think he could make the frame in the back of the quartets. I'm hoping for a big run.
We're talking about Riker
number 6, and then a horse that won the other day. He's drawn right off the course, Well Connected. I respect him. He could do no more than win. He beat a winner, and I think he's a nice horse.
Okay, Warren.
Graham,
Short and sweet, or
I think
or is it not so short and sweet?
No, I think just 2 horses for me. I think El Mariachi, I would agree with the panel that this horse could be hard to beat, but I've certainly got healthy respect for number 5, Prince of Kahal from the Roy Magner stable. Not drawn much better than El Mariachi. I was impressed with the way he won last time. I really was. And as you say, Roy Magner hasn't brought these horses down to KZN to come and taste the curry. But, 1 and 5, short and sweet. El Mariachi, hard to beat, but healthy respect for number 5, Prince of Kahal. And I do like Garth's horse for a place.
Okay, so there we're going with the betting. El Mariachi is a popular choice. You might get a bit nervous if you were running in a big pick 6 and you had this banker, but we've got to go short somewhere, guys. We've got to go short somewhere. He does look the right horse, but respect for Well Connected, Prince of Kahal, and who knows, even Riker. We'll be pulling for Garth for his horse to run a big race, and not forgetting the Dazzler. Race 10, the Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes, 1,600 metres, grade 1 for R1 million in prize money. What a race this has turned out to be this year. We've got Bella, we've got Just Sensual, of course. We've got Bipot, Gimme 6, the Guineas winner. It's a field packed with class. But I can tell you that chatting off air to these guys, they're all in the Bella camp. So perhaps I'm going to give all your secrets away because Bella seems to be the one. But is that what the bookmakers think? So let's have a look at the betting before I chat to you, Warren. Ooh, they make it a 2-horse race. Bella Bella 15 to 10, Just Sensual 16 to 10, Gimme 6 6 to 1, 14s and Better Bar 3. So looks a boat race, but at best a 3-horse race if you include Gimme 6, who of course was very brave in defeat over 2,000 meters last time out. Warren, is it the Bella Bella Garden Province Stakes?
It certainly is. Short and sweet. Number one, if you're doing your money by the 10th race and whatever you've got left, try and get some money off your wife or girlfriend and get out of it, Bella Bella. I know it's not a huge price. She's favourite. I think she'll be hard to beat. I'm in Sheldon's camp. Bella Bella, full stop.
Banker in the second jackpot. So, you know, if you're not into taking the short prices, there's always a way of structuring the second jackpot. Perhaps getting El Mariachi beat in the first or going banker and loading up. Garth, Bella Bella?
Yeah, Bella, I mean, just look at the form. You've got Safe Harbour running in the July. She's beaten Safe Harbour. She's running the sprint to Carry On Alice. Third to Captain America, beating July horses. She could have lined up in the July, no problem. They've chosen this race, obviously, this great one they want. And, yeah, I mean, I respect Just Sensual. She's very good. I think it's a 2-horse race, but I think Bella Bella sticks out a little bit for me. And at the back of the quartets, don't leave out Bipod. If you saw that work in the July Gallops, be careful. That'll be be running on.
Bipod worked extremely well. She worked alongside Pagoda. Possibly might find the Gravel 1,600 metres a little on the sharp side, but certainly don't leave Bipod out of the play in terms of the trifectas and the quartets. Now, Sheldon, I remember the post-race interview from Anton Marcus when Just Sensual won last time, and he was a bit disappointed that she kind of laboured to victory. He said, and I virtually quote, perhaps not word for word, to win the Garden Province, she's going to have to step up on this performance. Can she, or is Bella Bella a good thing?
Bella Bella for me, very, very tough.
So this is the best bet.
Healthy respect for Just Sensual. She beats her on that Carry On Alice run. But Bella Bella, the guys have come with bucket loads. Best bet on the card for my money.
Okay, so there we are. We're going to cut it short. The Garden Province Stakes, sponsored by Johnson's Workwear. Quality race, always a great race to win. Everybody wants to win it. The panel, we all agree. Bella Bella. If we're wrong, no correspondence will be entered into. But let's hope for the Flying Grey filly, Bella Bella. She's an eye-catching sort. Race 11. We get to the last double, the Etaquini Sprint, 1,200 metres. A nightmare, although Lloyd's Legacy did win extremely well last time out. Let's have a look at how they're betting. Pillar of Hercules, Anton Marcus, Joey Ramson, 4 to 1. If they've got beat with Just Sensual by Bella Bella, they'll be looking to strike back quickly. Hack Green, nice to see him back to form, 9 to 2. Stable Companion. Lloyd's Legacy also at 9 to 2, so Dennis Dry has a very strong hand. Remember, we do have a second jackpot. So race 9 was the kind of the El Mariachi Stakes. Race 10, the Bella Bella Stakes. This race may be a little bit more open as the betting suggests. 1 Bishop's Bounty at 7s, 12 Trippy's Girl at 7s, 2 Dusra at 8 to 1, 4 Purple Tractor at 8 to 1. Brett Crawford, of course, has had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful season. And he'll be looking to build on that fantastic season, of course, with Edict of Nantes in the big race and a host of other runners on the day. Sheldon, summarise this race for us.
Absolute nightmare. If you're doing your money at this stage, I think you're in serious trouble. Number 6, Pillar of Hercules, narrow first selection. Let's hope Anton's still got the strength to bring him home, so he can hopefully get him into the winner's box. 5, Hack Green, second selection. And then looking at number 2, Dusra. But looking at the field, very competitive, no degree of confidence.
If you like Pillar of Hercules, who ran 4th to Summer Lead last time, then surely hashtag Strat is a kind of a good thing earlier in the evening at 10 to 1.
You could be spot on the money there. Take your each-way bets
But
on
if
that.
she runs badly, what are we going to do with Pillar of Hercules?
Then we're in trouble. We hope Anton got that strength to bring it home.
Racing doesn't always work out quite that simply. They run on tracks, not on paper. Garth Puller always used to tell me that. We run on the tracks, not on paper. Garth, find us a winner in race 11.
Yeah, I like Lloyd's Legacy. I know it runs with the Colonel Collar and it won well last time. Maybe a little bit close to this. Hack Green. It's done nothing wrong. It's a difficult race. And I like a little bit of, I know it's drawn wide, but I like a little bit of Summer Sky.
Weren't you disappointed with its last run?
I was, but I think it'll bounce back.
Okay, interesting. Because I'd kind of drawn a line through Summer Sky here. I thought, okay, its last 2 runs. The Guineas run, of course, we can forgive because that's a different league, but I was a bit disappointed with the 4th last time. Didn't seem to want to finish the race off. What about Bishop's Bounty? Garth, surely that's a big runner here.
got the form. Also got a wide draw. I mean,
But he's got straighter.
he ran 30 out. He could have had Delpech.
Yeah, true. Could have had Delpech.
Well, you got
But he's got It's My Turn, Strider. It's not like Stradham's only ride for Snaith on the day.
I understand that, but I mean, Delpech has ridden the last twice, and I think if he wanted to ride it, just
Maybe after Black
he's
Arthur's
riding
won the
Bala.
Vodacom Durban July for Grant van Niekerk.
You think you wouldn't
This is
keep
the
Bala's
consummate-
jockey happy? Yeah, there's a bit of politics there, but yeah, look, it's not an easy race. Honestly, it's not an easy race. I think, I mean, a horse like My Pal L, that can bounce back. That's shown plenty of.
And Purple Tractor must also be a bit of a runner. That's Brett Crawford's
Plenty of
horse. Grant Knowles is Purple Tractor Syndicate. It's wide open. It's a difficult race, which is why you've got to probably go short in the first leg of the second jackpot and also bank a Bala in the second leg because you probably want to go as wide as you can. Warren, how do you see the race?
Graham, I think this is the race where you'd want to sit back and have an ice-cold beer. Because,
And the field in the second
and the
jackpot.
field, yeah, because it is hellishly competitive. A lot of the fancied runners are drawn shockingly. Nice to see Hack Green bounce back to near best. Well, I say near best, it ran second. Bounced back to near best last time. He's got tons of ability. It's competitive. Lloyd's Legacy, I was impressed with the way he won the other day. Competitive, load up, try and be as safe as you can.
Obviously, winning these exotics, as we've said so many times over and over again, it's all about structure. So if you can get away with going light in the first leg of the second jackpot, going light in the second leg of the second jackpot, then the recommendation from the panel here is, although they've picked out a few horses that they like, go as wide as you can in that third leg because, again, it's going to be a very, very, very hard race. It's going to be a rough race. They're going to be jostling for position. The 11th race, by the way, just to remind you, just to get this right, is on the Poly. It's over 1,200 metres. So in the end, only 12 are going to run. So you may want to put as many as possible into that race. Well, we end up at 5 to 8 with the running of the 12th race, the Daisy Business Solutions Handicap. It's listed. It's over 1,600 metres. And to remind you that we do have a quartet carryover. We have a quartet maxi pool. We're expecting the last race quartet to reach 1.1 million rand. And I suggest to my panelists here that if all else fails, you'll like to try and catch the last race quartet. So let's have a look at that betting to give us a guide. One horse dominates, number 5, Nebula, who's, of course, still a reserve runner for the Vodacom Durban July and is now technically the first reserve when you consider that Elusive Silver is out and Horizon is in the Vodacom Durban July. So Nebula is still the first reserve for the Vodacom Durban July. But if he runs here and doesn't get into the big race, he's 2-1 favourite. Barry Tone changed hands at Michael Holmes's TBA 7 Super Sale. Will run for new owners. He's at 7-1. 9 Copper Force has yet to deliver in KwaZulu-Natal the promise that he has shown Justin Snaith is at 15-2. Prince of Wales, you'll see Justin has a very strong hand there with all of Barrytone, Copper Force, Prince of Wales at 8-1. They're betting 10s and better the others. Certainly if Secret Captain, although he's got a wide draw to overcome, if he was to repeat his run of the Guineas, Warren, then he must be in with a big shout. At 10-1 would seem to be quite generous. He ran second to Janubi in the Guineas over the course and distance. And we've seen a couple of runners come out from that form line and do well since, although his subsequent 2 runs not at his best. What do you make of the last? How are you going to structure your quartet? We want to catch the quartet, yeah. We want to go home with the winning quartet, having banked the winning quartet in the last.
Well, surely if you've got the quartet in the July, Graham, you don't want to take the last race as well, or you want to take them both?
Why not? Why not?
All right, I'll come back to you about Secret Captain. Budapest Celtic Captain Warren Kennedy surely would have got the choice of rides. He's gone with Celtic Captain. I think we've got to take cognizance of that fact. Nebula, a lot of people are talking that Nebula is a good thing in this race. Prince of Wales, 5 runs over this distance for 2 wins. He's got to be a big chance. Secret Captain, yeah, we did tell the public to include him last time. He fluffed his lines. He didn't stay. Hence the drop to the mile, and I think the next time he runs it'll probably be dropped to a 1200. Hard race. I'm number 5 Nebula. I'm going to take my quartet 5 Nebula and 6 Prince of Wales Roving with as many horses in the race that my budget will allow. Hopefully, I'll have some budget by
Still
the 12th.
left.
Yeah, by the 12th race. But 5 and 6
well, if
roving.
you follow the advice of this panel, how can you possibly go wrong?
We get a couple of security vans to come and come and load up our money. But yeah, 5 and 6 roving bankers for my quartet, the last race of the day, and maybe you can tell us who's going to win the 13th race today.
Well, it's not going to be Garth Puller, that's for sure. He used to be quick enough, but unless he comes from off them. But we won't worry about the 13th race now, Garth. I must say, with the draw, I could almost be leading towards Prince of Wales ahead of Nebula. Third run after the rest for Prince of Wales. He's a dynasty, well-related, ran well in the sledgehammer. Nebula obviously fluffed his lines in the Cup trial. Garth, am I crazy, or is Nebula a good thing?
No, you're not crazy. One draw again. Don't write off Copper Force.
No, I agree with you.
Don't write off. And I'll give you a horse. I'll give you a roughie that I think will be in the first 3. Union Jack. Third run back. This horse will be spot on. It's
So
got
you're a
8 draw.
Brexit man.
Sorry?
You're a Brexit man.
He's the stable's hot. There's nothing wrong with the horse's form. It's a 4-year-old. He's won 4 races. He ran 4th to Table Bay last time with 57 on. He's down to 53.5. Greg Sheen up. That could close the day.
Well, Brett Crawford, there's your quartet. Garth is suggesting that Brett Crawford's 2 runners, Nebula and Union Jack, could be the floating bankers.
And Prince of Wales.
And Prince of Wales in there, obviously. Sheldon?
One horse that I plotted for July Day, Prince of Wales. A little bit interesting, the riding arrangements. Richard Fourie was on him in the beginning. They swapped around late on, so obviously that's a little bit of concern that he's jumped onto Copper Force. But I think Prince of Wales represents the value. Number 5, Nebula, and 13, Secret Captain. If you're looking to get out in the last, maybe have a few rand on Prince of Wales and Secret Captain.
Okay, well, there you have it. Summing up the last race then, Sheldon and myself in the camp of number 6, Prince of Wales, with healthy respect for number 5, Nebula. Garth picking out number 11, Union Jack, the stable companion to Brett Crawford's Nebula, as a runner of interest, a key runner. We all agree that Copper Force, when a trainer thinks highly of a young 3-year-old, and he's somehow running there and thereabouts, but not quite putting his act together, beware, because all of a sudden it'll all come together for him. And his run behind Africa Rising was good. His run behind Janubi in the Guineas was good. His run in the Daily News behind Edict of Nantes was good. So Richard Fourie has obviously opted to ride Copper Force despite the wide draw, because he believes he's a better rider than Prince of Wales. Snaith and Crawford probably hold the key to the last race quartet, not forgetting that Brian Bernard and Gareth Van Sale might have a say with number 2, Budapest, and number 4, Celtic Captain. Well, there you've heard it from our panel. I'm going to quickly go through. Now, this part is a bit of a curveball. 1 horse for the day, other than Bella Bella, right? Other than Bella Bella. It can be an each-way bet. It can be a value bet. It can be a secondary best bet. But I don't want to hear the words El Mariachi, because we've discussed that. We've all agreed Bella Bella is the best bet on the card. Warren, I'm going to start with you. 1 for the day that you could sort of have your 5 rand each way on.
5 rand or 5 grand?
5 rand.
5 rand.
We've got lots of 5 rand punters out there who may be watching and saying, well, I want to have one little strike based on what these guys say, the 3 wise men, what they're going to say.
For me, head honcho. Race 2, number 2, head honcho.
On the nose.
On the nose.
Garth?
Red badge. Royal badge.
Royal badge. Union Jack, Royal badge. He's a Brexit man of note.
Garth at his game. I'm going to go with race 3, number 2, Trophy Wife. 12 to 1. Take your 5 rand, make 60 rand.
Okay, so what did we have there, Warren?
Okay,
Head honcho on the nose.
I've gone, we must make a note of this. We've gone for head honcho, yeah.
Royal badge each way or on the nose? Each way.
Each way.
Each way.
Okay.
Each way.
You're getting value.
Yeah, you're getting value. Trophy wife each way.
Each way.
You're not getting value.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go in the big race.
Yeah, but a short price winner.
Yeah, I'm going to go in the big
long-price
race.
loser.
I've tipped the conglomerate. But my each way bet, if you're watching the race, you want to have 10 rand each way on it, safe harbour. Win in a place, because I get 6 places. You're only going to get 3 or 4 places in the other race. Thanks for watching, everybody. We look forward to a fantastic week as we build up towards the 2017 renewal of the Vodacom Durban July. Whatever you fancy, Let's have a great day's racing, entertainment, and lots of fireworks and lots of buzz. Let's remember to congratulate all the winners on the day. This is Africa's biggest horse racing event. This is Africa's biggest social event. We look forward to seeing you at Greyville on Saturday, the 1st of July.
Remember the magic? Heavy metal. Legislate. Power King. The conglomerate. Who will make the magic in 2017? What colors your magic?